So I keep getting questions. Why no one's engaging with or interacting with my social media posts, or what's happening there? How can I talk freely and have fun? And at the same time, I get business from social media. So here's what's happening. And actually, I just recorded a class with my Unlock Wealth program. So I'll walk you through some things that may be happening there. Okay. So, number one thing is there is a fear of being visible, and it can manifest in many different ways. And it's different to every single one of us because we all perceive the world in a unique way based on our learning history, based on our conditioning, the personal system and values, like all the way, all those years that are beyond today. Okay. So oftentimes, this fear of visibility is simply fear of showing yourself to the world and actually taking that responsibility for your desires. So if you're a little bit hesitant or have this icky feeling of like putting yourself out there and seeing yourself from the other side and actually showing the other side that's different from the public side, right? It's coming out as fear of being vulnerable. Oftentimes people see like it as imposter syndrome or as fear of disappointing others, especially if some close circle of people are involved there. So let's say if you're doing that on social media and you're trying to show up and be visible, especially nowadays, that's super, super important because we're all online. Okay. And if there's the fear of being vulnerable and showing like more vulnerable side of you, you're going to sabotage everything you do. And this also, you may also relate to like, like when we are afraid to be judged and criticized or made fun of, oftentimes this stems from way back in the day. And I'll give you one example. And let's say if, I'm making things up. If some time ago, let's say when you were a child, a bunch of kids were laughing at you, or they were picking on you, or they bullying you maybe, you may have created a belief, the truth for yourself, that you must not be good enough. Because otherwise, those kids would not be laughing, or those kids would not be picking on you, right? This is kind of the age, especially in early days, where we don't have the reference point. So we kind of look what's happening and we create our own reference point at that moment based on what we know at that moment. So if kids are laughing or they're making fun of you, this could be, oh, there's something wrong with me, or I'm not good enough, as otherwise they would not be laughing at me. So this is so, so common, especially when it comes to fear of visibility, because it also goes back into your self-esteem, confidence, into self-worth. Okay. In relationships, it could, oh, by the way, this can go through any aspect of your life. So in relationships, how does it show? It could be simply showing up as your inability to express yourself, inability to say what you want and what you need. Your partner may ask you, okay, what do you want for dinner? And you may say, I don't know, I'm open, whatever you want, babe. Though in fact, you may be in the mood for pizza or wings or whatever else, but you're worried that a partner will dismiss your option. Therefore, you go into defense and kind of start deflecting things. I hope that's making sense because there is some risk associated with being vulnerable or expressing yourself because you want to avoid that potential conflict or that potential argument or potential and not like a possibility of your partner not to be happy. And you're going to avoid that at all costs. And if you look at the business side, that fear of visibility, being visible and just showing fully showing up, it can show up as you presenting only one side of yourself. You know how sometimes we have this public side and personal side? Just remember like how you're talking to your friends versus how you're talking in public, at the store or somewhere else in public. There might be different sides of you, right? Because it's not safe for you to show up the full you. Because some other people may see you vulnerable or they may not agree with you. Does that make sense? And again, criticism and judgment are behind all this, the fear of those things. So they're all kind of interconnected. And therefore, going back to the online presence or social media presence, if you have all those things happening, or that's how your system's working, that's how you perceive the world, and that's how you see yourself, that you have to be little or go back into the back seat instead of sitting in the front seat, you're going to be talking in a different way. You're going to be even posting things in a different way, because you're going to be trying to be little or littler. Is there such a word? I don't know. But I mean, it goes back to the business side where you're infrequent, or there's no online presence whatsoever, or it's as minimum or surface level as possible, because there's this fear that what if someone's going to judge me? So therefore, you're putting a barrier between you and everything else and the world behind the screen. So really carefully look for that inner critic, what's happening there. Okay, because your inner critic, that system, that subconscious mind that's actually runs us on autopilot. And if you don't know that, just Google it or message me. I'll be happy to give you some resources on that. But that inner critic of you is going to remind you every single day of your inadequacy, mistakes, failures, whether it's past mistakes and failures or possibility of them, because that inner critic's job is to protect you no matter what. It's going to keep you safe because it protects us from feeling any sort of pain, any type of pain, whether it's real or perceived. It's going to protect you from any type of danger. And so often that's a perceived danger. Look, fear of judgment, it's sort of danger, but it's not real, right? It's just to the point where we would feel pain or embarrassment or some type of disappointment or some type of sense of failure in ourselves. So then we're going to regret something. Then we're going to feel shame or guilt about something. But it's going to tell you, don't bother even trying because you're going to fail or you may fail. So it's rather like, don't go there because it's scary. It's not safe. So going back to the social media, why people are not reaching us, that's the big reason that you need to look in and see, am I showing up in the right way? Am I showing like a lot of sides of me, not just one side that we've chosen, that safe side? And if we're not, why am I guarding myself? And what am I guarding myself from? And like I mentioned, usually it's some sort of pain or fear of some sort, right? Because that may involve getting hurt, failing miserably, or making a mistake, getting disappointed. But figure out, okay, what's behind all that? What's behind that protection, that safety wall? And if there's real fears there, go back into the root causes, like go deep and figure out, okay, why am I feeling? When was the first time I felt like this before? Why it's so uncomfortable for me to step out into different arena, let's say online or social media, or make a post. Really connect with people. Why you're shying away from connecting with people and showing the real side of you, who you really are. Because here's the truth. We can write the best posts, we can create the best videos, but if a person on the other side of the screen, they cannot relate to us, we're going nowhere. We can write hundreds, thousands of posts, create those thousands of videos, but if we're not coming out as authentic, who we really are, and we keep protecting ourselves all the time, things may not move forward. I'm sorry to bring you that kind of not so good truth, but that's the reality. Because look how you're connecting to people. Would you connect with someone who's fake and just bragging about everything and just saying how beautiful things are? Or you connect with real people. Those real people actually, I can almost guarantee that they have their own share of pain that they had in the past, or maybe still having, but they're not afraid to be and to show up as who they are. So just think about this and how you can identify what's happening. Let me share 3 things, okay? First thing first is, and I'm annoying my clients with this because that's number one thing that I actually require them to do. I'm asking them to do. So you gotta know your patterns. So observe yourself for a week or 2 or so and say, okay, what exactly is happening? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? And how I'm doing all this. So 3 levels that you need to kind of look for, 3 things. So one is thoughts. What thoughts I'm thinking all the time, or in specific situations that I repeat over and over and over again. What am I feeling constantly, repeatedly? What emotions come up? Let's take the same situation showing up online, whether Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter where actually. Look, okay, what thoughts are coming up when you need to create a video, when you need to make a post, or when you need to get on a connection call or sales conversation or a customer, anything like that. And see how they're showing up in your world, in your mind, okay? And how those thoughts affect you. Because after a thought, you will most likely feel some type of emotion. So, okay, look into, okay, what emotions am I feeling over and over again, repeatedly? And then look, okay, what circumstances those emotions, those feelings come up most? So another pattern, right? And then go from a different perspective and look, okay, what do I constantly do over and over again? But despite of what I do, I don't get the results I want, or I see lack of results somewhere. So look at all those 3 things, thoughts, emotions, behaviors, because they will give you some type of direction where you need to go next and where you need to dig deeper and see what's happening. Okay. So ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why am I doing this? Why am I afraid that something may happen, though there is no real reason, no real threat for that, right? Judgment. So what? By the way, there is good and bad judgment, right? So why you're afraid of that? Every single person has some type of judgment, and not every person is for you or should be in your circle. So why you gotta be afraid of something that may not even be real? Okay. When was the first time you felt like this before? That first time, actually, your mind may directly connect you to the event where that root cause was created. One thing you need to know is that one event, even if it's not related to what you're doing right now, it can trigger different things. Meaning, if someone yelled at you when you were 5 and said, you're crap, you're whatever, you're not good enough, okay, and you will never succeed, or let's say you failed at some project and that created some emotions of like, I'm not good enough or I'm feeling miserable, that one thing, that one event can actually translate into different things happening to you or for you right now. It may show up in business, it may show up in a relationship, it may show up in your work arena, anywhere you go. So watch for those memories that come up, like things that you remember when you ask yourself, when was the first time I felt like this before? Okay. And then look, okay, does this thinking make any sense? So I hope that's helpful. And comment below where are you watching. Just give me your feedback and what you noticed around the fears of fully showing up.